Senator John Fetterman does it yet again, setting the internet ablaze with his comments on multiple topics. I'm going to share with you a couple of clips. It's driving the left completely crazy. He talks about Greenland. He talks about the Laken Riley Act. He talks about why the Democrats lost. It's brilliant. Stick around for that. Also, the president of Mexico snapping back at Trump over the Gulf of America. She kind of comes back with a little snarky comment. I'm going to share a clip from that. James Woods, if you haven't heard, his house burnt down in the Pacific Palisades at this horrible fire in Southern California, where I'm at right now. He breaks down in tears on CNN. I'm going to share with you a quick clip. It's going to absolutely melt your heart. And then also the Dalai Lama schooling a BBC reporter on immigration. You're not going to believe this. It's so good. It's so practical. It's so real. And then lastly, we've got Matthew Livelsberger. I don't know how you say his name. The guy who showed up in front of Trump Tower with the Cybertruck and blew it up in front of Trump Tower. His ex-girlfriend, she's going viral right now with a clip talking about the incident for the very first time. I'm going to share that clip. But first, check this out. So just in case you don't know, the Laken Riley Act passed the House just very recently. For some reason, 159 Democrats vote no against deporting criminal illegal migrants if they commit an unlawful act. I mean, it just makes absolutely no sense at all. Why? Somebody tell me in the comments right now, why would 159 Democrats be opposed to deporting criminals, especially illegal criminals? We keep saying that they're America last, and they keep proving it over and over again. Let me know in the comments down below. And Fetterman said this about the Democrats, absolutely blasting them. Check this out.
Like, it's really common sense. And I'd like to remind everybody that we have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of migrants here illegally that have convicted of crimes. And why, I don't know why, who wants to defend that, to allow them to remain in our nation? And now if you're here illegally and you're committing crimes and those things, I don't know why anybody thinks that it's controversial that they all need to go.
Do you think that this was one of, if not the biggest issue for this election?
Well, I think if we can't, there's 47 of us in the Senate, and if we can't pull up with 7 votes, if we can't get at least 7 out of 47, and if we can't, then that's the reason why we lost. That's one of them. That's one of why we lost, in part.
That's the entire mission of our channel, is to make common sense go viral. You know how you can help? By doing something that absolutely costs you nothing. Tap that thumbs up, share this out, leave a comment down below. Is it just me, or is Fetterman sounding more and more? I think he should just come on over to the center right. I'm not right or left. I'm more of a constitutional centrist, but he needs to get out of the radical extreme left, because right now he's in the radical extreme left. Whether he knows it or not, whether he's aware of it or not, whether he can help it or not, he is. If you think he should actually declare publicly joining the Common Sense Party, the Common Sense Revolution of Donald Trump and the rest of us, let me know in the comments down below. But check out this clip right here. Fetterman going even further, talking about working with Trump and even confirming some of his cabinet picks. Watch this.
Is this Tulsi Gabbard one of the nominees that you could vote for?
Well, I met with her. In fact, I think I've met with virtually all of them. And the ones that I haven't, they're on my schedule, RFK and Governor Noem. So I'm happy to meet with all of them. And that's also part of this. I don't know why that was controversial. I mean, I got a lot of blowback just, even to meet with them. And to me, I see that as just doing my job. And I'm going to have a conversation with anyone that would like to have a conversation with me. And if someone believed everything that's been written or said about me was true, I mean, you can't possibly know me, or I think I could know her either, just based on someone read. But I want to sit down and have a conversation, and I'm really glad that I've done that. And some of these nominees I'm going to vote for already. In fact, whether it's our colleague Rubio, Representative Stefanik, or even Sean Duffy, I expect to vote for him as well too, and Brooke Rollins for agriculture. Again, understand. So there's a lot of them I can say right now here on Fox, I'm going to vote for them. And there's others, but that we're going to go through the process. But I'm open to hear from everyone, and I don't know why that's controversial. And I also would like to remind everyone on the Democratic side, that's the way democracy works. Trump won, and now they're going to run the table, and so they get to pick those kinds of people. And if you don't have to agree with all of it, but I want to find a way to work together on a bunch of them.
Doesn't sound controversial at all to me, brother. As a matter of fact, you're making some real smart, practical sense. I used to kind of chastise him for his garb and him looking like he just kind of like left the gym. Maybe I'm nuts. Am I nuts? Maybe this guy's smarter than all of us. Because if there's one thing that I know that's capital T true, never mind the fact that Trump, has policies that are America first across the board, but it's the authenticity of Trump and the fake automaton phoniness of the radical left and a lot of politicians, even on the right too, some of the rhinos, et cetera, et cetera. Maybe Fetterman's smarter than we think. Maybe we're not giving him enough credit. Maybe because when you see the way he's dressed, you hear the way he talks, he kind of does come across as just one of the guys. I don't know. Is he playing us? Is he for real? Is he not for real? I'm still kind of undecided, right now, but I mean, I like what I'm hearing so far. Check out what this next clip right here of Fetterman talking about all the hoopla of Trump perhaps purchasing or taking, I don't know, Greenland. Watch this.
There's a lot of talk about Greenland, for example. Now, and I know there's a lot of freakouts, and of course I would never support taking it by force. But I do think it's a responsible conversation if they were open to acquiring it and whether just buying it outright. I mean, if anyone think that's bonkers, it's like, well, remember the Louisiana purchase? Oh, I think Alaska was a great deal too. $50 million, I think it was. It was referred to as Seward's Folly, and now that was Alaska now. So, I mean, open to having all kinds of conversations as well. And now, I don't think it's not helpful to freak out, but some things might work out, some may not, but that's part of an ongoing dialogue. But he hasn't even taken office in 2 weeks, and, we really need to pace ourselves if we're going to freak out over every last tweet or every last conversation or press conference.
Again, sounds like a normal dude to me. Sounds like he's actually making sense. He seems very cogent, sober, articulate, but more than anything, anchored in reality and down to earth. He doesn't sound like a robot or a phony like Kamala and everybody like Kamala, which is pretty much all of them on the left. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. I can't wait to see this. Now, I've got a beautiful, heartwarming clip to share with you. James Woods, who suffered his entire home, I think, was lost and in the fires, as well as so many hundreds of others, and the devastation from the fire. I just did a video earlier today talking about the absolute abomination of Newscomb and Karen Bass. If you haven't seen that, watch that. I'll leave it at the end screen. You got to watch it right after this. Just go to my channel. Watch this clip from him describing exactly what happened in this beautiful story. Check this out right here. Watch this.
Hill, we finally got into the Sunset congestion. It's 9 miles to Beverly Hills. It takes us usually about 25 minutes. It took 2.5 hours. And you have to understand, somebody didn't charge their car, their electric car, didn't put gas in their gasoline car, and now they're on Sunset. Oh, I got to abandon my car, and now the fire trucks can't get through, and now people can't walk. When we couldn't get our garage door open because the wind was blocking, because our door goes up like this, I said, oh my God, we're up in the hills here. And we got to walk out? I can't walk. I'm 77 years old, man. I can't walk up these hills. It's like Mount Everest here. It's like, pretty steep. So, it's just, I posted this on X, but Sarah was on with her 8-year-old niece last night. And she came out, I'm sorry, just, one day you're swimming in the pool and the next day it's all gone. But she came out with her little Yeti piggy bank for us to rebuild our house.
So when he says Sarah was on with her 8-year-old niece last night, he's talking about his wife, Sarah Woods, and her 8-year-old niece. I mean, I'm getting emotional right now just saying it, taking out her piggy bank and saying, can I help? I mean, that's just absolutely beautiful and emotional. My heart's thoughts and prayers go out to everybody, all the victims. of the Pacific Palisades and the other major fires that are burning all over Southern California. Godspeed. We love you. We're with you. And I wish you nothing but the best. Okay, so most of you guys probably already know that Trump has been alluding to changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, which, you know, he says we own it, we maintain it, we do everything we're supposed to do there, we trade there, we travel there, etc., etc. Why not? It is the Gulf of America. And listen to the president of Mexico, Sheinbaum, to her response to that. Very snarky. Check this out.
Obviamente, Golfo de México es reconocido el nombre por Naciones Unidas, un organismo de Naciones Unidas, pero el siguiente, ¿por qué no le llamamos América Mexicana? Se oye bonito, ¿no? ¿Verdad que sí? Desde 1607. La Constitución de Apatzingán era de América Mexicana. Entonces, vamos a llamarle América Mexicana. Se oye bonito, ¿no?
Mexican America? Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't think so. That ain't happening. Nice try. But survey says, try again next time. You lose and you lost. It ain't gonna happen. I'd love to get your thoughts on that, though. Let me know in the comments down below. Okay, now, you guys remember I talked a little bit about Liversberger's ex, who posted on Facebook supporting Obama, supporting Hillary Clinton, and basically saying bad things about Trump. Well, she just recently popped up again, of course, because of this huge news item, the Cybertruck blast outside of Trump Tower, and this is what she had to say about everything. Watch this.
I failed him. We all failed him. He was really open about the trauma he faced and the teammates he lost. He sent some front views and he shared he felt like he was Batman or Halo.
It wasn't until 2 days later when the FBI contacted Eric that she found out what happened in Las Vegas.
They started to show me a video of him in the Cybertruck. My whole heart broke for him. That he was so broken that he got to that place.
Eric is still struggling with why Livelsberger would take his own life.
He didn't say anything explicit that would have triggered it, I guess.
So there was some talk that Liversberger, and I know I'm butchering his name, perhaps this was some kind of setup. I still don't really trust the FBI saying there was no connection between this event and the New Orleans attack, but you know, I think it's interesting because everything that I've uncovered and researched has explicitly stated that this guy loved life, that this guy was not a kind of suicidal type of person or someone who would do something like that. So I don't know. There was a gunshot wound to his head. Apparently it was self-inflicted. That's what the FBI said. But I don't know. I don't know if we're ever going to get to this bottom of the story. But as far as her saying that we failed her, we all failed him, I don't know what exactly that means. Maybe you can help me out. Let me know in the comments down below. Okay, this last clip I'm going to share with you. The Dalai Lama absolutely clapping back at this reporter on the subject of immigration and letting people into your country from everywhere. This is so brilliant. Watch this.
From Afghanistan or the Middle East want to stay in Europe. Shouldn't they be allowed to?
Limited number, okay. But whole Europe eventually become Muslim country, impossible. Or African country, also impossible.
There's nothing wrong with that, is there? I mean, you're a refugee yourself.
They themselves, I think, better to their own land, climatically. Much better. Europe too cold.
My parents moved from India to the UK. That's now their home. That's okay too, isn't it? If Indians or anyone else wants to live in Europe?
I think England, the small island, 90% become Indian. Then I don't know.
I mean, they just can't. It's so funny. These radical extremists, they just don't understand the concept Everything has to be, you can tell she's getting offended. You can tell this reporter is all about assimilation and immigration and refugee and accepting everybody and just cultural, whatever you want to call it. I don't even know what they want to call it. It's just ridiculous. The UK literally is facing a huge issue, as is Europe and everywhere else, of this just free flood of immigration and refugees, and it's this culture clash. It's causing all sorts of problems. But just the very mere mention of it, you could see the heartbreak in her eyes. Like, you're the Dalai Lama. No, just because he's the Dalai Lama and he's accepting and he's loving and he's a sentient, forgiving creature or being, doesn't mean that he's stupid. Doesn't mean that he's not practical. I mean, he's doing it in a fun, lighthearted way, but he's essentially saying what we're all saying. Look, there has to be some kind of rational, there has to be some kind of sensible way of doing this. It can't just be this free flow, open floodgate. It just can't be, because it's proven time and time again that it's not working. But I can't wait to get your thoughts on this as well as everything else. Let me know in the comments down below. I can see you eyeing my awesome 100% made in the USA original Nez Nation Patriot merch. We got all sorts of cool new designs, original hats, hoodies. Pin comment, show notes, and description. You'll find the link to our original store. Check out these videos coming up on the screen right here. If you haven't seen them before, tap my face right there to subscribe and follow. It's free. And as always, may God bless you and may God bless America. I'll see you soon.